Hello everyone, welcome to Mastermind. Let us start a series on reading comprehension. So this is part 1. So totally we'll do 10 comprehensions. So 10 reading comprehensions using a few useful very important tricks. So what happens is whenever they are asking about reading comprehension, they are asking various questions related to the paragraph which you have just read. It might be the questions related to the paragraph which you have just read, or the analysis related to that particular paragraph. They might ask what the author is intending to tell there. Depending upon that, there'll be various questions which they'll be asking. So recently what has happened is whenever they are asking any paragraph related to reading comprehension, the questions have become very tricky. That is, they are asking what is in between the lines there. So what exactly that person is trying to mean over there. So that is the intention behind reading comprehension. So what I try to do over here is that whenever we come up with any paragraph related to reading comprehension, first thing is we'll categorize that. We'll categorize that particular paragraph. Let's say, is it related to science, or is it related to, let's say, economy, or is it politics related article, or politics related comprehension. We'll categorize that. So when we get a category of it, we'll obviously be getting the summary in detail by just giving one reading. If at all it is related to, let's say, science or any research related article, then it will be a little complex for us to understand that particular comprehension, because we may be asked some questions which is in between that particular research, or what is that research trying to solve. So at that point of a time we might take at least two readings also. But there is a solution that we have to restrict ourselves to at least one reading. Now, the best solution for that is to look at the questions before only. Look at the questions beforehand. So, let us analyze the questions beforehand. What exactly that author is asking, or what exactly is the question. End of the day, we have to answer those questions, only then it will be correct for us, correct? So, let us look at the questions itself first. And then depending upon that, if we are reading the comprehension, then it will be a little easy, because when we are looking at the questions, we will exactly know what are the keywords which we have to concentrate on. So after understanding the keywords, when we will go to the comprehension and we will come across such keywords, we can underline that and then get the answer then and there itself. So in this way it will be easy for us to solve the answers within just one reading by saving lot of time. So we'll carry that particular trick over here. So I hope till here it is clear. We will start with the first comprehension here. So for the next 9 comprehensions also, we will be looking at this particular chronology itself. So let us look at some of the questions over here. So there are 5 questions related to this particular comprehension. We haven't looked at the comprehension yet. We are just looking at the question to understand what type of question they are asking, or what keywords do we have to concentrate when we are reading the comprehension. First question they are asking, developing an awareness for the physiological responses is known as. Okay, so the first keyword which you have to remember is related to physiological responses. So it might be related to definition or something. So developing an awareness for the physiological responses is known as, what are the options? Okay, let us look at the second one, subjective experiences. It is asking about subjective experience here. Okay, it is telling subjective experience that uses imagery is. So what we have to concentrate on next keyword, which is subjective experience. Next, in the next one, the approach to replace irrational thoughts with rational ones is called as. So how do we replace irrational thought with that of rational thoughts? About that they have told in the comprehension, that also we have to concentrate. Next one, which technique is used to calm the mind? Okay, so it is related to calmness of the mind. So overall we are getting to know that it is somewhere related to science only. It is somewhat related to science itself. So we should concentrate way too much, because we should not go back to read again and again. Okay. Next question: which technique is used to calm the mind? That happened. Next one: refocusing the attention, that could be done by which of the following techniques? Refocusing of attention. So till here we have got to know what are the keywords which we have to concentrate when we are reading the comprehension. So here the first one is physiological responses. Second one is subjective experience. Third one is irrational thoughts to rational thoughts. Then how to calm the mind. The last one is refocusing of attention. So with this, if we are reading complete paragraph properly and we are solving these questions, then it is 5 questions: 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. Sometimes in UPSC what they have done is they are usually asking 2 questions, or sometimes they are asking at least only 1 questions at times. That is, we are reading bigger paragraph and they are asking only 1 question from that. So if we are going back to reading the paragraph again and again, it will waste a lot of time, because we have to solve quant also, and the reasoning part also we have to be solving. So let us concentrate on these keywords while we are reading the paragraph. Let us start the comprehension. Stress plays a significant role in physical diseases. So physical diseases. So they are mentioning about physical diseases over here. But they are also telling that stress will also impact the diseases physically. That is what they are trying to tell over here in the first line itself. Stress also plays plays a significant role in physical diseases. Next, they are mentioning about the physical diseases itself over here, which is hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer are linked to high level of stress. So we get to know that these are physical diseases, that is hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer. So these are physical diseases, and these have been linked to stress. Because of stress we get these diseases. Okay, I'm going very slow over here because we are understanding how to solve the questions over here rather than rushing through. Okay, so stress plays a significant role in physical diseases. Hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer are linked to high stress level. Therefore, they are concluding knowing techniques to manage stress is very essential. That is, if you are managing the stress properly, then you can get rid of these diseases, or the risk of these diseases will start to reduce. Okay, that is first paragraph. Next one, relaxation technique. Relaxation technique. So this technique will reduce the symptoms of stress. Okay, it will reduce the symptoms of stress. They are telling relaxation technique over here. This is the first one. So if we are understanding relaxation technique, or if we are following relaxation technique, then the stress itself, the symptoms related to stress itself will come down, and hence the overall stress also comes down. It calms the mind and relaxes the body. So you see, we had seen this particular keyword over there. It calms the mind and relaxes the body. So they are linking relaxation technique to calming of mind. This we have read in the question itself. Next one, deep breathing is used in this technique. Okay, deep breathing is used in this technique. So they are making a tree over here. Correct? One is they are mentioning about relaxation technique, and with the help of relaxation technique the stress will come down. Stress will come down. But what exactly is this technique? This includes deep breathing. Okay, this includes deep breathing. So in this, just in this particular comprehension will take a little longer time in order to analyze, but while you are doing in the examination you just read in between the lines. Okay, so in other way we can say that this deep breathing will reduce the stress also. Correct? Deep breathing will also reduce the stress for us. Okay, deep breathing is used in this technique. The yogic method of meditation consists of sequence of learned techniques for refocusing of attention that brings about an altered state of consciousness. So they are linking, we know that in yoga there is meditation, and in meditation they tell about concentration on our breath itself, correct? So our breathing itself has to be concentrated while we are while we are in meditative state. So they are mentioning, they are defining that thing, that is the yogic method of meditation. Meditation has sequences of techniques for refocusing of attention that brings about altered state of consciousness. The biofeedback is a procedure to develop awareness to monitor and reduce the physiological aspects. Here, when I am reading about physiological aspects, I am giving another reading over here because physiological aspect itself was a keyword for us. So, the biofeedback is a procedure. So, what is the procedure? Biofeedback. The body's feedback is the procedure in order to develop awareness to monitor and reduce the physiological stress, the physical related stress, physical related aspects of the stress by providing feedback about current physiological activity. So we have read about physiological stress, and it should be related to biofeedback, or it should be related to, because they are mentioning directly over here in the question itself, that is the biofeedback itself is the procedure. They are directly mentioning that biofeedback itself is a procedure in order to develop awareness to monitor and reduce the physiological aspect. So if you have to manage or monitor the physiological aspect, then what is the procedure? The biofeedback is the procedure. This at least we have got to know. Let us carry on with the paragraph again. Okay, this physiological aspect of the stress by providing feedback about current physiological activity. So at that point of a time only, that will be providing the feedback only, correct? Next one. Next, they are mentioning about creative visualization. Creative visualization is a subjective experience. See, subjective experience also we had seen. Subjective experience also we had seen in the question. So, subjective experience is related to creative visualization over here in this particular paragraph. So, creative visualization is a subjective experience, and that uses imagery and imagination. Okay, that is visualization is imagery and imagination. Okay, that they are mentioning related to subjective experience. Next, cognitive behavioral techniques are meant to replace negative and irrational thoughts with positive and rational ones. So we had also read about the irrational thoughts into rational one, and what is helping there? It is mentioning that cognitive behavioral techniques. So overall we got to know that whatever keywords we had read in the questions, all those keywords are related to that we have already marked over here. We have highlighted or we have marked over related to that. Now we got to know that they are mentioning about the stress over here, they are mentioning about the techniques in order to handle that particular stress, and they are mentioning about various tricks and techniques in order to handle that particular stress. Why they are telling about handling that particular stress? To reduce the physical diseases. So it is relatively a little easier paragraph, also easier comprehension also. Now let us go to the questions directly. So let's go to the first and second question over here. What it is asking? First one is developing an awareness for physiological responses is known as. So if you are reading in the paragraph also, where did we read about physiological responses? Here we read about physiological aspect. Okay, physiological responses or physiological aspect. It is mentioning about development of the awareness. Here also it is mentioning about development of the awareness. Okay, so all the words are also there. See, we are concentrating on the words also over here. So develop aware physiological aspect. And in this whole sentence, from here till here, they are mentioning about the procedure, and the name of the procedure is biofeedback. So do you have biofeedback in the options? Yes, we have biofeedback in the option, and hence the answer is biofeedback over here. So the first question is done. So we don't have to go back again because we have already seen. Now I'm just showing it with respect to paragraph, just because to relate it with that particular line, and so that that memory also sits with you. Next one, they are mentioning about, next question, they are mentioning about subjective experience. Okay, we had seen subjective experience. Did we mark it in the paragraph over here? We have marked it over here. Subjective experience, this comes in this particular sentence over. Okay, so it is covered in this particular sentence only. Okay, They are mentioning it in this particular sentence. Only here they have mentioned about subjective experience. So subjective experience only here we have read. Nowhere else it is there. So answer usually lies over here only. So subjective experience that uses imagery is. So subjective experience that uses imagery and imagination, that is creative visualization. So you see, if there is creative visualization, so here the answer is D, creative visualization. So the answer over here is D, creative visualization. Let us move on to the next question over here. Next question, they are telling the approach to replace irrational thoughts with rational ones. So here also we can see that they have mentioned about irrational thoughts. Okay, there is this technique which is cognitive behavioral technique, and using this particular technique you can replace negative and irrational thoughts with that of positive ones. So they have to mention cognitive behavioral techniques. So here the answer is B for us, which is cognitive behavioral technique, because that itself is mentioned over here in a proper sentence. Otherwise the other things are not able to answer over here in that particular sentence. Next one, which technique is used to calm the mind? So we read about calming of this particular mind also over here, because you can see in the paragraph itself over here they are mentioning that this relaxation technique is an important skill and it reduces the symptoms of stress. It also calms the mind and relaxes the body. Okay, so here the answer is relaxation technique only, because they themselves have mentioned that it calms the mind and relaxes the body. Now, after reading the whole comprehension, after reading the whole paragraphs over here, they are asking the last question, which is concentrating on utilization of all of these. That is, they are also mentioning that refocusing of attention. This could be done by which of the following techniques? So, this can be done by relaxation. They are also mentioning meditation as a method of it, and change in personality. That is by replacing our thoughts from negative to positive, that is irrational to rational. So here the answer will be D, which is utilization of all of the above. Utilization of all of the above. So I hope you have understood about this. So if you are marking the keywords depending upon the questions which has been given, then it will be a little easier for you to answer the questions also, because you can directly go, even if you are going back to the paragraph in order to read the comprehension again. So because you have marked it before only, you can go directly to that particular sentence and then you can answer the question depending upon that, so that even if you are taking a little more time, then you are making sure that you are answering the question correctly. So I hope you have understood about this. I'll see you soon in the next part. Thank you.